This is Season 2, Episode 8 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper. And today we have not quite El Clasico, but it's a pretty Clasico.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the... Last week you're like, I'm literally going to do the Sir, I'm not appearing. Sir, I am appearing. And it fails after 1 week.
I'd never said anything about doing a bit. I just do whatever comes to me in the moment.
I'm sorry, if you go back and listen to last week's podcast, the audio disagrees. But that's fine.
The audio can disagree or like. I'm remembering my reality as I see fit.
Fair enough.
That's how reality works.
Unfortunately, due to, was it 3 different accidents on the main road near us last week?
On the road?
None of us none involving us, thankfully. But by the time we finally made it to club night last week, we were not in time to record anything. So we have got a game of me versus Sam. But it is the game that I was... Well, at least I'm using the list I was going to use at club night anyway. And
I'm also using the list. I'm pretty settled on at this point, to be honest.
So let's jump straight into them. And I'm still flying the B-Wings, because I'm having lots of fun with the B-Wings. And I've been, as regular listeners know, I've been flying with Ezra and a 5-pointer recently. But I was having an ahhing about those 11 points and I still like a 4-ship list. I'm flying a different 5-ship list as well, so I'm kind of like keeping. I like having the big base. It's just really useful on things like assault, and I'm taking force users, so height and perception helps with I6s. But I still want make sure we keep the B-Wings alive. And so I brought Kanan in the Ghost. For anyone who doesn't know, Kanan's ability is when a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 in your... no, it's not even 0, it's not range, is it? It's when a friendly ship in your firing arc defends, you may spend 1 force, he has 2, to make the attacker roll 1 less attack dice. So
that's a powerful ability.
Yeah, it doesn't work on himself.
Weapons failure on demand.
But yeah. And then first thing I do is slap a dorsal turret on him, because now he's got 2 firing arcs. Height and perception for dealing with pesky I6s. Fenrir, because one day I will remember to use it for my benefit. Spoilers, it's not this game. But when I do remember it, actually works really well. Ursa Wren. Anyone who doesn't know the Ursa Wren errata, you may keep 2 locks. Each lock must be on a different target. When a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is locked by an enemy ship, you may perform a lock action. So it's a good way of picking up 3 locks. And I got 2 points left, but I only decided to use 1 of them and slapped Agile Gunner on, because with his ability you want the freedom to be able to move the turret arc wherever your other ships are, even if you're stressed, not costing an action. And that leaves me with 4 points. And I've gone with Thane in the X-Wing. I like Thane. My kind of hope is, and I'm not sure how often I'll pull it off, like, basically he's an I5 X-Wing. His ability, if I get it going, great. If I don't, fine. He's still an I5 X-Wing. His ability is when you perform an attack, you may spend 1 crit, hit, or focus result to look at your enemy's damage cards and expose 1 of them. So, always nice to get a structural damage, 1 less green. Direct hit with 1 health, dead. But yeah. I brought Magpulse warheads because at I5, if I'm not heightened perceptioning, he can shoot first. So anybody with a reinforce, I can get rid of that. If it's great crit generation. The depleting jams are nice. if I'm shooting something with 1 agility and it's taken some damage, I roll, say, 2 hits and a focus, I can spend the focus knowing it's still going through. Maybe I get lucky and flip a fuel leak.
Yeah, exactly.
There are options there. It denies the range 3 bonus on attacks. And then I've also put Predator on him. I have got 4 points. I was thinking about Elusive, but I was just thinking getting rid of the blanks, because at least he has a use for focuses. And yeah, just get rid of the blanks as best I can. So yeah, that's my list tonight.
And my list is, I mean, what do I even call this list? It's like separatist salad, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got 2 gunships, DGS 047 and DGS 286. So 047 is rocking Diamond Boron missiles and Django Fett crew. And 286 is rocking cluster missiles and seismic charges. Pre-Vizsla in the Gauntlet with Bo-Katan crew, veteran tail gunner, and Mandalorian optics. Volan Das in the Tri-Fighter with elusive and afterburners. And Dirge in the Rogue class with marksmanship, proton cannons, the title, and proton bombs for basically a giant crit train.
Yes.
It's all pretty bog standard. I just went for like, what are some super efficient ships, and here we are with super efficient ships.
Yeah. We are playing Salvage Mission, which is not the ideal scenario for me. Particularly specific to this matchup, I'm down a ship, so that already is a bit of a pain. My B-Wings want to be able to barrel roll to generate the stress. Thane would like to, or like the ability to boost into a focus. The only one who's really happy is Kanan. So yeah.
Whereas I have 3 ships that are quite happy to just grab a crate.
So yeah,
the gunships can barrel roll, but if they can't barrel roll, it's not the end of the world.
Dirge will pick one up. Sorry, not Dirge. Vizsla will pick one up even.
Vizsla will pick one up.
Dirge can pick one up.
It's not ideal, but Dirge can. Heck, even Volan can. His dial's pretty open.
Yeah.
But it would definitely be a last resort.
So objectives. We end up with actually a skewed cross, not the... we have one as close to our board edge in the middle on both our sides. And then...
Then I put mine about halfway up your side and as close to the middle one and your home one as possible. Because basically I just wanted a cluster of 3 to slap a rock into.
Yeah.
I know that to get picked up and moved around, but I just didn't want to faff around with the cross, because look, if you're going to get 2, get 2, and then we can be ticking at 2 points each, and then there's an impetus on killing.
Yeah. I put my one on your side, sort of the same, just slightly further out. But yeah, we end up with a skewed X basically. And then rocks. The Pride of Mandalore rocks are basically in a triangle around the center objective.
Yep.
And then these.
And then your smaller rocks are in interesting little spots.
Yes. I placed one on my bottom right. Basically, I'm just trying to keep wide gaps between the rocks. Space for the ghost to go through.
Yeah. Then I snuck the mustache rock literally on, basically just off the center objective, just to be basically just be annoying in the middle of the board. We've both got big ships that don't really like having rocks in awkward spots.
Yeah. And then I stick the last small rock just above and right of the Moustache Rock and above and left of one of the Pride of Mandalore rocks. Basically just to try and block that lane off from you sending lots of ships down there.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we roll off and Sam is first player on turn 0. In fact, you're first player, I think, for the first 5 turns.
Yeah, so it ends up being my 1s through 3s. So just Dirge and Volan left. And I placed both gunships essentially dead center. 047 slightly to the left of center, and 286 just to the right of him there. The idea being that I've lined up 047 to go and grab my home crate, and 286 is lined up so that if I do like I think a 1 straight, then a 5 straight, I'll be able to hopefully grab that center objective and be fine. But depending on what you do at the start, I might not. But he's lined up to maybe do a sneaky grab.
Yeah.
And if not, he can just follow the other gunship around. And then Vizsla, I deploy on my far left, again lined up to go and grab the left crate on my side. Simple and straightforward.
I set up Kanan on my left-hand side, about a third of the way in. He's just left of the objective that is part way up my board edge. Basically, he's going to go slow, pick that up, and then depending on what Dirge does, although I don't know Dirge is there, but I got a sneaking suspicion that one of your 5s might have been there. He can either bank into the centre or not. And then I set up Braylon. And I set up Braylon about 2.5 ship lengths to the right of Kanan. And what I was trying to do here was, because I knew you were setting up your 5s before I have to set up Gina or Thane, I was trying to dissuade you from setting up anything opposite Kanan. Knowing that I could then put my 5s in if you do. But I set Braylon up in a way that I think a 1 forward barrel roll, a 1 forward barrel roll would put him the inside of the Pride of Mandalore rock in the centre of my edge, down towards the centre.
Yeah.
So that if I'd ended up putting my 2 I5s over there, he's got a way of getting over there in 2 moves while Kanan banks in.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then I drop Volan to the left of Pre-Vizsla, on the very, very outside of the board edge. Because now that I know where Braylon is, I know that Gina is going to be within 2 of it. Like, more than likely. Which means you're probably edging towards... I figured you'd be edging towards the side that Kanan is on, so I slap Volan on the far left, with the idea being that if Thane and Gina drop opposite Pre-Vizsla, at the very least, I've got a giant large base problem for them, and maybe Volan can slip in unnoticed or just be annoying. And if there is no one on this side, he can be a really annoying flank.
Yeah.
And then I slap Dirge basically opposite Kanan, except what I've lined him up to do is if I do a 1 bank and then straight, I will just slip inside the Pride of Mandalore rock in my corner, and I'll be near the centre, depending on where the rest of your ships go. But at this point, I have basically zero intention of taking that jab, because Dirge versus Kanan, Dirge loses. It's just a fact.
I don't know.
You reduce... Okay, the only thing I have going for me is the proton cannon. You make it a 3-dice gun.
Not if you're shooting Kanan, I don't.
Oh, no, is it not if you're shooting Kanan?
You have to be in his firing arc. He's not in his own firing arc.
Ah, okay.
Which is
why... for some reason, I just assumed that Kanan defended himself, so I just was like, well, there's no point shooting Kanan.
Scum Kanan, in the Hawk, I believe, does.
Okay. That's probably where I've got it mixed up from.
Yeah.
Which might explain some of my firing choices later.
Fair enough.
Because I was like, oh, there's no point shooting Kanan. You're a giant ball of health, and I'm on 1 dice less on everything I do.
Yeah, interestingly, because that's why I had to put the B-Wings there, because I didn't think I win that one, because you new to my reinforce. Yes, I've got a load more health, but that proton cannon's going to rip through it quite quickly.
Yeah. My thought was like the proton cannon knocks off the shields potentially, and then you hit me with a proton cannon back, basically.
Yeah.
Like, okay, not modded, but
unless you decide to take a lock, then possibly modded. Mercer.
Anyway, that's my deployment, and then we get to your 5s.
Yeah. So I have to put Gina down near Braylon and the Ghost to dissuade you from coming, because I don't think. I mean, obviously at the time I didn't realise that you didn't know Kanan didn't work on himself, and I don't think Braylon by himself is enough of a dissuasion.
Yeah, he's not.
So Gina had to go down, and mistake. I placed Gina in between the Ghost and Braylon, thinking I'll make Braylon go fast, barrel roll in front. Gina can come in behind.
Okay.
Which would have been fine, but after we started setting dials, I wasn't entirely sure I'd placed Braylon far enough to go past the rocks on a straight.
Right.
Looking at it now, I think he does. And I swept.
I think he might edge past.
What I should have done was just stuck Gina on the other side, and then you just turn one straight barrel roll both of them, and then you're almost back to where you are, but the right way round. And then I put Thane just to the right of the centre objective. He's to the right of the Pride of Mandalore rock. The B-Wings are on the left of. Because I wasn't sure what you were going to do. So my plan was go slow with everyone, turn one, go from there, turn in on where I want. The B-Wings can barrel roll across if they want to barrel roll across, and I think in 2 turns can be the other side of the Pride of Mandalore rock, or Gina could have gone fast enough to go around it. The Ghost with a white 3 straight and a white 3 bank and a large base can cover a lot of distance if I need to. I didn't want, but if it had happened, I didn't want Thane getting left out basically. And I was, because he has to close his wings for the boost, which means he's throwing 1 less red unless it's the Magpulse. And if it had gone, if you turned in with Dirge and gone really fast with Pre-Vizsla, I could have 2-harded the B-Wings and come in behind.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Gina wants to be at the back. So yeah. But if it doesn't go that way, then I can just turn away and pick up the crate that's near him.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think I should have just put him closer, as a block. He could have been the other side of that objective. And
he could have just been next to Braylon.
Yeah, but
the gap doesn't really help.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about hindsight.
I mean, I guess it does give me bait. If I think I can catch him sneakily, then I might overcommit.
Yeah,
but I don't do that. I actually play quite passively in the first couple of turns of this game.
Particularly with Volan, and more than I thought you would. But let's get to that. Sam is first player, so we'll skip that.
So basically, everyone does their slowest possible move. The gunships both do a 1 straight, and they both calculate. Vizsla does a 2 straight. Okay, so not technically. The slowest possible straight is what Vizsla does. And he just focuses. And then we go over to your side for a bit.
Kanan just does a 1 straight, reinforces force a habit. Braylon did a 1 straight because I just wasn't sure whether I'd get past the rock or not. And takes a focus.
Volan does a 2 straight and focuses. And then Dirge does a 1 bank to the left going in and takes a target lock on the rock, because I remember you got Magpulse and I was like, oh yeah, and Volan takes a target lock. So I know odds are, based on when you're shooting, it probably won't do anything, but I'd rather have the locks just in case I get it wrong and that it does force something.
Yeah.
That your jam. I know it's Magpulse, it's in the engagement phase, so it's basically impossible for it to actually be wasted. But just in case, you never know. Yeah. I'd rather have the locks and it just be irrelevant than exactly. Not have the locks but get hit by Magpulse and be like, crap.
And then Gina and Thane both do 1 straight and focuses. And what I've realised looking back at this, my initial plan, as I said, was to go slightly faster with Braylon, barrel roll. And I was looking at doing the 3 and the 3 with Braylon, 2 with Gina. I didn't have 1 straight with them. Why didn't I just do the 2 straight with Braylon and still follow through? It wouldn't have got as far as the rock.
That's a good question. Actually.
Although, no, actually, I know what it was. I was slightly concerned it would bump Kanan.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
So,
but yeah, nothing exciting first turn. The second turn is also not particularly exciting.
No, the third turn is a little bit,
because I'm first player again, and basically my gunships both do a 1 straight. And DGS-047 grabs the crate, and 286 takes a calculate. And then Pre-Vizsla does a 2 straight and grabs the crate. It's very exciting. Wait till we get to Kanan. Yeah. It's even more exciting.
Well, Kanan's a rebel, so he 1 straights.
And grabs the crate.
Now, Braylon.
This one caught me off guard. I wasn't sure what you were going for with this.
So, again, I wasn't sure if I clipped the rock.
Right.
So I didn't want to risk the straight. So I do a 2 bank with Braylon. And then, so I think I've dialed in if I remember rightly, I've dialed in a 3 with Gina. And I looked at that and I wasn't sure that jumped over the top.
I don't think it does.
So I barrel rolled him in behind Kanan. It's not ideal, but
it's not the worst.
I also, at this point, don't think I should have worried about focusing, but I was slightly concerned that now you'd seen what I'd done turn 1, you were just going to bring Dirge in on the ghost. Again, not realising you hadn't clocked the ability, so that was always in the back of my mind.
Yeah. I guess so, because it's interesting, because for me, that was like, it's literally not a possibility, especially now that the B-Wings are there, because, like, let's say Dirge commits and shoots the ghost. Fantastic. You then get 3 shots back into me, and it just doesn't go well.
I think where they are, you could probably get range onto the ghost without... I mean, you'd have to judge it perfectly, but you just edge on the side of caution.
But anyway, Volan does a 2 straight, and then I focus boost because I want to get slightly ahead of Vizsla. And the reason I focused was because I was 100% sure that Thane wasn't going to do something weird. So I thought, I'll take the focus. Volan's dial is kind of insane because of his made for organics.
Yeah.
He's basically all blue, so I didn't think there'd be any problem with getting rid of the stress and where I was. And then Dirge just does a 1 bank down my back line and takes a focus, because I've had too many games where Dirge has tried to do something clever and gotten killed. And the idea here is, if I think you're going in, if I look at it, I think they're going to commit. Dirge can 1 hard behind that rock, then I can focus barrel roll which way, depending on where Kanan has ended up.
Yeah.
But I do second guess myself on that one, because I come to the conclusion that let's say Kanan like 3 straights. Do I really want Dirge to be facing Kanan down at range 1? No, I do not.
That's fair. Thane does a 1 bank. It goes towards the Pride of Mandalore rock. And what I really want to do here is barrel roll to the left and just slot him in behind Gina. But I know you've picked up 2 crates, and I know for me scoring objective points is going to be hard. I say it for quite a while, umming and ahhing about, do I do the barrel roll? Do I pick up the crate? And in the end, I opt to pick up the crate so that I don't go a point down, because I also thought there's a good chance, especially if you're all going a point up on the objectives, you just play conservatively. You could easily make it another probably 2 rounds before we actually engage.
Yeah, like engage properly, or at least at the very least another 2 rounds before we engage with a ship that I'd be like, okay, I'm concerned about this ship dying.
And like, and then
also of note, I flipped the stabilizers on both of the gunships, so they are in side slip mode. And that is important.
I'd just be losing points at that point. And I'd looked at the position, and I think a 2 hard right clears the rock.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to be able to, because I know where I've put Gina and how fast the large base can go, swing Kanan and Gina in on the next turn. So I have all 3 ships shooting something. Preferably the same thing. And Gina does do a 3 straight. And I think... does...
You just
take a target lock to have one out there, because you had some on some rocks, and I like something.
You felt lonely. So this is where I think it gets interesting, because I didn't think for a minute that Thane would turn in, because I looked at that. I didn't think that Gina and Kanan could. I thought they could get in and shoot something. I didn't think they could shoot Vizsla and Volan, and I figured there's no way he just suicides Kanan. Not Kanan, sorry, Thane.
Yeah.
Because that's what it would have been to me. If Thane turning in would have been like, I would say like, that's a pretty bizarre move, because I don't think Gina can help. And I definitely don't think Kanan can help without getting in the way of Gina.
Fair.
So what I do is I just continue my plan. So my 2 gunships do 3 bank side slips to the left, just trying to veer away from your entire list and rejoin Vizsla and Volan by another turn, because in this game, if we're both ticking 2 points up, I'm quite happy with that, because the average point cost of your ships is higher than mine.
Yeah.
So if it comes down to the end and we just trade a ship for a ship, odds are I should come out ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm quite happy to delay the engagement for another turn or 2. Unfortunately for me, 286. It's not quite looking like he's going to be able to clear the small little football-sized rock that was placed there, which puts me in a bit of an awkward spot, especially now that they're both stressed.
Yeah.
And then Vizsla just does a one bank to the right, slowly poking his head in, and takes a focus.
So, Kanan does a 2 bank. Yeah, and I think the 3 would have chucked him on that rock. I think
it would be close.
It'd be close. That wasn't worth the risk.
It'd be very close.
So yeah, Kanan just does that. And I reinforce to the front just in case Dirge has got any ideas about turning in. And again, stupid. Because I'm literally protecting against Dirge. Well, what's the point? If you turn in, you've probably got the bullseye. The reinforce isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, where every other of my ships is. The reinforce isn't helping against Dirge.
I should have just taken a focus.
Yeah, or a target lock.
Well, I kind of figured, like, maybe...
I mean, the thing is, I know about Ursa Ren, so if Dirge turns in and I have a choice of one action, I think I'd probably just focus, because that defends me against your shot, doesn't give you a freebie, and is about as useful an approach. I mean, okay, it's not quite as useful an approach as kind of the target lock is, but it's about as useful.
But if I've locked you, then Ursa doesn't trigger, because it's a lock action.
That is true.
So by not locking, it would sort of protect me against you rolling blanks on your proton cannon.
That is true.
Braylon does a 1 bank to clear his stress, and then just focus barrel rolls into Gina because I want him stressed so that she can pick up a lock. He's not
got to give him a target lock.
And
then Velen does a 3 bank, which clears the stress. And then I look at Kanan. I look at Thane, and I think I don't think he's turned in, but if he has, I'm going to just barrel roll Volan to the left, and I'm going to link it to an evade. I believe, because a 4 straight boost barrel roll should let me around the rock, and I didn't think that Braylon could move and clear his stress and get a nice shot, and I figured Volan would just get sneaky shots in the side. And also I'd keep him safe from any nasty Thane stuff, because the last thing I want to take on my 3 health Tri-Fighter is a guaranteed crit.
Yeah.
And then Dirge just does us 5 straight and focuses. And this was planned, but planned poorly because I'm too close to the rock that my gunship is about to. Because I was thinking, if I 5 straight, I think I get to that rock. That means I can do the exact same thing I was going to do this turn on this rock, where I can 1 hard and I can barrel to the left or right depending on how it ends up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I end up a little too close to the rock for sadness on that part, but hey.
So Gina does the 1 bank to pull herself inside a Kanan, and I should have done any other right turn maneuver.
Yeah.
I did the 1 bank because I knew it would leave the rock there, but a 2 bank, if the barrel roll fits, it just puts me like a little bit closer in, which is probably no bad thing at this point, or 2 hard.
Yeah.
But I should have done a 2, as we will shortly see. I focus, and so I'm looking at that, trying to work out if we have range, and I always underestimate range. So I opt to barrel roll into the rock and trigger both B-wing charges to get the evade for Duke.
Yeah.
And then I do 2 hard Thane in, because I wasn't expecting the side slips away from the gunships, and that's my fault for not looking at the tokens. So I thought I'd have a shot where Thane, Gina, and the Ghost could probably shoot something.
Yeah.
And I am an eye about the focus here. But I opt to take the target lock onto Pre-Vizsla. Just thinking, if I fire a mag pulse, I crit off the box, deplete him for the return shot, and jam the focus, or make him spend the focus on defense. Yes, it could go horribly wrong, but it's probably the lesser of 2 evils.
Yeah, and it's going to make me drop the crate if anything goes through.
We go to start an engagement, Gina sadly does not have range for a target
No,
lock.
she's out of range for a free
Uh,
lock, which means
oh.
I'm not using a proton torpedo this turn, which
No.
is fantastic.
And it means I know that Thane is facing down probably just pre-Visitor, but yeah, by himself. He does fire the mag pulse, and I roll crit blank. I spend the lock into a hit, so I know it's going through.
And I roll blank focus, so I take a crit, drop the crate, lose my focus, gain a deplete. All those happy days. And I just shoot back into Thane. I figure there's no point triggering my ability because I'm already depleted, and if I trigger my ability, you'll just cane in it. If I was honestly kind of surprised you didn't cane in the shot anyway.
Yeah, in hindsight, I should have because
You
I
were
was
getting the
at
force
full
back
force.
regardless.
Yeah, it was me like stupidly thinking, "Oh, I'll conserve my force," but yeah, in hindsight, it wouldn't have made a difference.
But I rolled 2 hits.
And I blank out, so those are the 2 shields gone. And then
Kanan is just out of range of Dirge.
yeah, and that's it for shooting.
Yeah, so 1 point to me, 2 points to you. So you're up on points, and I don't have an easy way of getting that box back because you maybe drop it behind Vizsla, and the gunships are both stressed, and the closest one to it already has a box.
Yeah,
but all is good. The plan is in session. I unfortunately though have to do an awkward move with my gunships, and it does come to bite me in the butt a little bit. As 047 just does a 1 straight, and I believe flips the stabilizers back into side slip mode, and then takes a target lock onto Thane.
yeah.
So I thought about calculating, and then I thought, actually, I want to fire this diamond boron this turn.
Yeah.
And if you want to stop it, you basically have to kill my gunship. And if you're firing everything into my gunship, I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's got the box, but it should take you 2 to 3 shots, depending on what you fire at it. And then that's 2 to 3 shots not going into Vizsla or Dirge.
Yeah. So I use Ursa Wren, and I lock the gunship you locked with Kanan, because I know Kanan's just doing a 1 straight.
Yep.
I wanted Kanan to turn in, but I wasn't sure any of the banks didn't leave me on rocks.
I think the 1 straight is correct there, because I'm pretty sure any of the turns leave you on the mustache.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought the turn afterwards, one of the hard turns should get me through that gap.
Yeah. So because I'm expecting that, I think, okay, my other gunship, 286, has to turn in because of the rock in the way. 2 hard should not hit the rock in front of him, and I was hoping it would just clear and not hit the rock to their left. However, it does, and I do take 2 damage, which is extremely awkward because now I have a gunship sitting at just side to side, basically in front of your entire list. Then Pre-Vizsla does a 1 bank, and I look at this and I think, okay, I think Thane is probably... I thought Thane is probably bumping into Vizsla. Because I Mando Optics Thane as well.
Yeah.
And if Kanan, Gina, and Braylon all pile into Vizsla, focus isn't going to do much meaningful good. So I coordinate my gunship that just landed on a rock, and I barrel roll him to the right off the rock, just in A, to make him get a shot, and B, just to get him in the way.
Yeah. I do the 1 straight with Kanan. I had considered a 1 hard right, but I was just concerned that it actually goes back enough that it clips Gina. So yeah, I opt for the 1 straight. And I reinforce to the front again because maybe Vizsla shoots me, maybe the gunship shoots me.
Yeah.
Just try and dissuade. Make Kanan a worse target, and Kanan makes everyone else a worse target. So
exactly.
Brayden does a 1 straight because I need to keep up, but also, and maybe I should have done a 3 straight there, but I wanted to keep my arc open. I knew who's moving after the majority of your list anyway. He focuses into a roll and triggers the ability to get an evade. Again, just trying to make it a more difficult shot for Vizsla.
Then Volan does a 4 straight, clears the stress. I afterburners a boost to the right, then I barrel roll to the right again and link it to an evade because I'm pretty positive that Thane isn't shooting at me. If Gina wants to shoot at me, there's not a whole lot I can do to stop it. But I reckon I've now sort of snuck into the side. I can do a hard turn in, which will be blue, and get in behind where all the rest of your stuff is. Yes, there might be bombs, but I should be okay, was my thoughts. And I think I got a shot into Braylon at the very least.
Yeah.
Just plink. Because that's the trick with Volan, I find, is you want to stay out the way and plink until you like have the move. Basically, I find. And then Dirge does a 1 hard, and I'm not quite as central on the rock as I thought. But I also think that I was pretty sure that Thane was. I don't know why I keep calling Kanan and Thane the same, mixed up. I was pretty sure that Thane was bumping into Vizsla, so I just focused because I've lined up Dirge's bullseye directly down Vizsla's front.
Yes.
So if anyone's there, you're getting hit, hopefully.
Yeah. Gina does a 1 bank in, focuses into a roll. Just focuses because she doesn't need to be stressed. Braylon's probably only taking 1 shot.
He doesn't need. Braylon doesn't need the second focus.
And Thane does a 2 bank, which clears. See, I thought Vizsla would come in. I wasn't expecting the gunship to be where it was. And I was hoping that you'd just be a slightly bit further forward, so that I was in the middle of your side arc, basically. Because I thought you might come in a bit faster to try and block like a slow 1 or something. It jumps the other. I'm the other side, but still in front enough that you've got me. But I do have the yellow gunship range 1 right in front of me.
In the bullseye as well.
In the bullseye, and I opt for a focus.
Yep, nothing wrong with a focus.
So,
start of engagement.
Yeah, Gina gets her lock, and I had a choice to make. I could lock Vizsla and lob a torp into Vizsla. But that's... Braylon's probably got a range 3 and probably obstructed shot. The X-Wing and the Ghost aren't shooting Vizsla this turn. So I opt to lock the gunship.
And I think this is the correct choice.
Yeah. Because yes, I know it's not the best target. It's only worth 3 points. But if I can just get it off the board, it's 1 less ship you have that can just go around picking up crates.
Yeah, and also, yes, I've lost 2 shields because I went on a rock because I was an idiot. But at the same time, most of my ships, except for Volan, are bulky enough that if you spread fire across them, all what's going to happen is I'm just going to end up with a bunch of alive, burning ships.
Yeah. Exactly.
And yes, Thane and Kanan can definitely kill DGS 286, but they might not.
Yeah, exactly.
Gina, Thane, and Kanan will definitely kill 286.
Yeah. My thoughts also there were if Gina and Thane kill 286, then Kanan just shoots the other one that I've got a target lock, or shoots Dirge.
Oh yeah, or the 286, yeah.
Yeah. And we go to shooting. I don't heightened because I don't.
And it becomes my 5. So Volan has a cheeky range 3 obstructed shot into Braylon. Let's see what Focus Evade can do when you've got 3 agility on a B-wing, and I get hit crit.
What it needs to, because I roll 2 blanks and a focus. So I spend them both.
This is the power of being a TIE defender.
Yeah, I spend them both.
And then Dirge puts a proton cannon into Thane.
I Kanan it to make it a 3-dice proton cannon.
And I roll crit focus. I spend the focus token to get it hit, crit. And then marksmanship and proton cannon give me crit.
I roll 2 of 8. I'm praying for not a blinded pilot. It is not, but it was a structural damage, which in hindsight is probably worse than a blinded pilot.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
But I dropped the crate. So there's that. And then Gina lobs a torpedo into 286. She rolls hit crit 2 blanks, re-rolls the blanks into 1 hit, so ends up with hit crit.
And I roll a blank, so that's shield crit. I believe it is loose stabilizer and fuel leak.
Yes, so 3 left. Thane goes range 1 in the bullseye, rolls hit, focus, blank, re-rolls the blank into a focus, spends his focus for 4.
Yep, so my gunship is dead no matter what, takes 4, the gunship dies at I5, 3 points to Sean. Then it's Braylon.
Yeah, who has the 3 obstructed onto Vizsla, so I just roll it. I end up with crit.
And I roll evade focus blank, so I take my second shield on Vizsla. And then I shoot range 1 into Thane with Privisla because, why not? It'd be rude not to. I've got a target lock on you. I spend my charges to go up to 5 dice, and you Kanan me back down to 4 like a normal person.
I'm not sure I should have.
You know what? I think you're right because functionally,
4 on
is there
2.
that much of a difference
yeah.
between 4 on 1 or 5 on 1? Because you have
No,
a
it's
structural.
structural. Yeah, exactly. And I have no tokens. Like, you have to roll real bad because you got a lock, right?
Yeah, I got a lock from the what do you call it? Optics.
Yes, I suppose there's the chance, but I think I should have just saved the force.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think you're right actually, because now you're on no force, and I think Kanan then spends the rest of the game on one force basically.
Yeah, he does.
So I roll hit crit blank blank. I spend the lock on the 2 blanks, and I get hit crit.
I'm like, okay, technically I can survive it if I roll an evade and it's not a thing, but I roll a focus, so
yeah,
I die anyway.
And you get the first direct hit out of you, and so functionally now we've currently traded a gunship of Thane. So I'm, like I said earlier, if I'm trading ships, odds are I'm killing more expensive ships than I'm losing.
Yeah. The flip side for me is I'd rather it was Thane than anyone else.
Yes, that is true. And at the same time, you do also need to just be killing ships.
Yeah.
And I have killed your easiest to kill ship.
Yeah, exactly. And the last turn, because I outscored by a point, that kind of negates the...
Yeah.
So we're back to square one. But we have Kanan, who does opt to go into the gunship that I have a lock on. I roll hit, focus, focus. Really wish I'd focused instead of reinforced, but hey. I spend the lock and end up with 3 hits.
I roll an evade, so I lose 2 shields off my gunship, just 1 shield left. So I then shoot into Gina with my gunship, just regular primary. It's range 3, but you are in my bullseye. And I roll blank focus, but because it's DGS 047, I acquire a lock on you and I give you a strain.
Yes. Alright, okay.
So now we're coming up to the turn, which I thought was quite interesting, because when I moved Vizsla, you said, curious, I didn't think you'd do that, and now I'm very curious as to what you think I was going to do. We'll wait till we get there, though.
Alright, okay.
But yeah, so my current plan is my gunship is in side slip mode but stressed, which is really awkward because it's really good that I didn't do my initial plan. As I was going to try and 2-bank to the right and just get like in an awkward position for Kanan, because I'm pretty sure that would have landed me straight on the rock, and I didn't notice I was stressed until after I moved, which I do in a second. But it's now fight time, so Vizsla in the system phase he uses his second Mando optics charge and gets a lock onto Gina.
That triggers Ursa. And I lock Vizsla with Kanan.
Yeah.
And I opt not to drop any bombs.
Yeah. Dirge drops a proton bomb just on the off chance if Kanan decides to 4K and try to be tricky. I'll just ping off the crate.
Yeah. I should note I am first player this turn. It's currently 8-8.
Yeah. I wasn't 100% convinced you'd come down this way, but I thought if you do, ping off the crate. It doesn't do it won't do anything else. I wasn't 100% sure that Kanan was going to want to hard turn into the center this round, because it's turning into a bit of a scrum, but we'll see. So my gunship does a 1 straight and calculates, I believe.
Yeah. Kanan 1 hearts.
Yeah.
Bumps into the gunship. Stressed.
Does
so
not land on the mustache rock, but it was mighty close.
And I just think a 2 would put me closer to the football rock, and
yeah, I think you're right. I think the 1 heart is correct. So Vizsla does a 2 straight, and I bump into Gina.
I thought you'd stop.
I'm stressed from last turn because I coordinated my gunship.
I didn't see that.
Fair enough. I was okay. That's interesting. Okay, if your observation was, oh, I thought you would do something because you aren't stressed. No, I was stressed
because
I did the red coordinate. I definitely put it on there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you didn't put it on.
I think it must have been. I must have been just under the wings.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. At the very least, I definitely remembered I was stressed.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you. Yeah, you weren't.
Yeah.
No. It's just I must have missed the token, and that's fair.
And I do take the red focus because I figure I'm probably taking a giant pile of shots. And I was just like, and in some weird circumstance where Gina ends up behind me, at least I can double tap because Braylon's definitely going to be in front of me.
Yes. I one straight Braylon in front. He. Oh, wait.
I think you forgot to take your charges off because you definitely
Yeah,
should not
I
have
was
had
going to
that evade,
say.
should you?
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently, I cheated.
I mean, it doesn't matter in the end, I don't think, but.
I focused to a barrel roll and then apparently, hadn't done my charges and flipped my charges for a second turn to get an evade. See if I actually use it or not. Gina bumps into Vizsla and takes a red focus.
Volan does a too hard to the right, and I believe I just focus here.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it thinking, I don't think Kanan's going to want to shoot me. But if I have no token, Kanan will see a juicy Tri-Fighter with no mods on his defense and might just go for it. And then Dirge does a one bank to dodge the rock in front of him. And because I was secretly hoping I'd just be able to boost and line up something, but I really, really can't. So I take a target lock on Gina because at the very least, I'll have a target lock. And secondly, it'll give my gunship a mod.
Yep.
And the Proton Bomb hits nothing. But
I know what you do next turn, and I'm still not convinced that bloody one half fits. Even though mathematically it does.
No, I looked at that as like, it definitely fits.
So we go to the...
Which was interesting, yeah.
We go to the engagement phase. Gina picks up a lock onto Voland. He doesn't have the shot. I've only got range 0, but lock's there for future. And
you shoot Vizsla.
And she shoots range 0 into Vizsla and rolls hit crit.
So I obviously roll blank, and I take hit crit, and I take structural damage. So immediately I know that Vizsla's dying this turn.
Thane feels your pain.
Thane does indeed feel my pain. Volan pops a range 2 shot into Gina. And I get hit, focus, crit. So, despite all that chat about not wanting to be naked, open in front of Kanan, I do spend my focus for hit, crit. Because now that I've taken that structural damage, I'm like, if I can tempt Sean into shooting Volan with Kanan, I will take it.
Yeah, I was going into the gauntlet all day long.
Yeah, so I was like, if I can tempt Sean to split fire at this point, I'll take it. But anyway, hit, crit, and Gina rolls an evade. So just 2 shields off Gina.
2 shields. Braylon range 1 into Vizsla. I roll crit hit, focus, blank, spend the focus for 2 and a crit. You roll.
I roll an evade, so 2 more crits. I believe it is damage, not power. It's disabled power regulator.
Yeah, disabled power regulator. And then Kanan has a range 1 shot into you. I roll blank, focus. I'm like, I've got 1 force, and I was going to keep 1 focus back as like a guaranteed hit and roll the other 4. With the lock I acquired earlier. But I opt to just roll all 5 into 5 hits.
Yeah, so I'm dead because I only got 4 health left. I did roll the evade and I take 4 damage, and previously does exactly. But he survived to I3,
yes.
Which means I get to shoot.
Yes.
And I think I go range 0 into Gina here. No, I go range 1 to Braylon.
You went range 1 into Braylon, and I Kanan it down to 3 because I didn't have to spend the force.
And I only roll a single hit, and I Bo-Katan a blank into a second hit.
I roll a
blank.
I spent the evade, so actually I would have been a damage up.
Okay, so
take a shield.
That makes things more interesting for later in the game, actually.
No, it doesn't. He dies to 2 direct hits.
No, but my point is, even if one of them wasn't a direct hit.
Yeah. But he still dies in the same number of shots.
In the same number of shots. I think that does make it interesting statistics-wise for the rest of the game. And then my gunship shoots a diamond boron into Gina. I roll hit, crit, blank, and I have many locks, so I spend... I don't spend, I re-roll the blank into a blank, and he roll an evade.
So another shield off Gina.
And then I trigger the ability to ping and upload more shields.
And I believe Gina takes it.
You have dealt too much damage to Gina on the overlay.
Yes, I have. Which means actually she would have lived by... Wow, this game's turning out...
No, actually, hold on. No, you haven't. No, you haven't flipped Gina's extra damage yet. So Gina should have 1 shield.
Let's just go back. 2 shields.
So So Gina should have one shield.
Okay, that's cool because I correct it to the
Yeah.
overlay in a minute.
Yeah.
Because we had this. So yeah, Gina takes that shield. The other two dodge it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But more importantly, I should have remembered Fenrau on Kanan because I could have 4K'd this turn. Got rid of his stress.
Yeah, you could have.
I couldn't have done it on anyone else because no one else had a range 1 in front arc.
And I also give a strain to Gina because I mean, why not? You're probably doing a blue, but you never know.
Yeah. So we
right. Okay. I think we go to the bomber clock.
Yeah.
And I think it's at this point you notice that Gina's shields are not aligned with something shortly.
Yeah.
But you spend charges to drop them out the sides.
Yes. I was just trying to catch
towards Volan.
I was just trying to catch Volan. Like,
my gunship, I don't drop any bombs. My gunship does a 3 hard side slip to the right, going just over Kanan and ending up behind the Mustache Rock, and I calculate.
Kanan just does a 1 straight.
At this point, I'm crying inside after your 1 straight.
And I do a reinforce to the rear. Braylon does a 2 bank, which keeps him
over the top of Gina.
Over the top of Gina, which keeps him stressed. And I shouldn't have done that because Gina's going to be ionized, so him still being stressed and her acquiring a lock is moot. And the fact that... So I do a 1 straight with Gina, which bumps. I swore I dialed in a 1 bank, but that wouldn't have really changed anything.
No.
Although, maybe a 1 bank...
It would have meant that Gina and Volan couldn't range 1 each other.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I could have barrel rolled, but I don't know. Like...
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I should have just take damage for the bump.
Yeah, I should have just... I was trying to get out of the proton bomb with Brainen, but actually Brainen's got 4 shields left. I should have just eaten the proton bomb. And Gina doesn't take a damage, and we will plot that at some point.
Dirge does a 1 hard.
Which I still swear doesn't fit.
Yeah, well, it does.
I refuse to believe my eyes.
I
never saw that.
Because I've got a target lock on Gina, you're in my bullseye, my proton cannon's back up. Yeah. And then Volan was trying a 5k, and the moment Kanan did the 1 straight, I knew it was going to be sad. And I bump into Braylon in both bombs, and I just sit there stressed in front, range 1 in front of Gina. So my only consolation is that you won't have me locked because of your ion bomb.
Yeah, so the ion gets the 2 B-wings and Volan, the proton gets the 2 B-wings and Volan. It's here where I clock the shields, and we're back to...
I cheat like crazy this turn.
Why?
Have you not noticed? I didn't put ions on Volan.
Oh yeah, hang on, you do it like 3 straight.
I do a 3 straight. Yeah, no, I cheat. Okay, I cheat like crazy. How did neither of us catch this?
No, I didn't.
How the hell did neither of us catch this?
I mean, to be fair, I'm up a damage, although I'd argue the 4k from Kanan, who I'm pretty sure has a target lock on Volan at the next turn, probably would have done a bit more
Volan
damage.
Should absolutely die.
Oh, well, there we go.
Okay, because I'll eat a crit next turn, right? Because you're dropping another bomb.
I mean, I would have, yeah.
Well, you did. You did drop another bomb next turn. Oh, okay. So how did neither of us catch this one?
I haven't put the crit on.
I even broke my lock.
I haven't put the crit on the overlay, but I believe it's a weapons failure.
Yeah, it's a weapons failure.
Gina goes range 1 into Volan and rolls 1 hit, which you dodge.
I roll 2 evades. I proton cannon Gina.
And kill her.
You don't cane in it.
No, and I'm not sure why. I don't know. Maybe there's just so much going on at that moment. But to be fair, you rolled a fuel leak and a direct hit. I was dying anyway.
I ended up with like 3 crits in a hit.
Yeah. Like, even if you'd taken away, it would have been the hit. So the crits are still,
so that is Gina out. Volan, I believe I just ranged 0 into Braylon.
Yep. Forget your weapons failure.
Forget my weapons failure. I roll a hit, you evade it. Wow, we're really bad this game. What happened? Wait, what happened from turn 6 onwards?
Braylon does a range 0 into Volan, rolls 1 hit, which
I
goes.
roll 3 blanks. I roll a elusive to get an evade.
And then. This is probably why I didn't do it. Kanan goes range 1 out the dorsal into Volan, rolls hit, focus blank, spends the focus for 2 evades.
I roll 1 evade and I take a damage. So yeah, okay, hold on. Literally, Volan should be dead next turn, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which means you win the game.
Which means I would. But yeah, all right, fine. But to be fair, Braylon would have been down 1 more shield if I. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, and my gunship shoots into Braylon, like range 2. I think range 2 obstructed and the bullseye. I hit it with 2 hits.
I roll 2 focuses, so I take 2 more shields.
And then we both get a point. It's 16-15.
Yeah, tight. Until suddenly it's not.
Yeah, until suddenly it's not. I mean, even then it's still tight, but yeah, I actually don't know how. I don't know how I missed putting ions onto Volan because I broke Volan's lock. Because I was like, oh yeah, I'm ionized.
The stupid thing is, I knew in my mind you were going up that direction, and it just didn't clock when you did a 3 in. You did a 3, and then spoilers, afterburners, and I was like, cool, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what is wrong with us? Because Kanan. Basically, my gunship stops. You've dropped a proton bomb out the left of Braylon, literally where Volan should be.
Yeah. Like, there's nowhere on a 1 bank or a 1 straight Volan can get away.
No, Volan is dead. Kanan does a 4K. My gunship stops. I just accept that I'm dropping the crate this turn. I didn't really see a way out because if you didn't drop it to there, you might drop it behind. My gunship can't dodge everything, so I'll just stop and just accept it.
Yeah.
Then Braylon 1 banks because he's ionized.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure 1 straight doesn't get you out of range.
No, it doesn't.
Off the side. So yeah, 1 bank away and focuses.
I'm 3 straight with Volan, afterburner's boost, and I barrel roll to the right, which of course you're allowed to do when you're ionized.
Whoops.
And then Turge does a 1 bank and just focuses. The proton bomb hits both Dirge and my gunship, so I drop my crate, but the damage is just on shield, so I'm okay to take that. And Volan and Dirge shoots range 1 into Braylon. And you don't Kanan it.
I don't Kanan it.
I roll
because it's
hit. Yeah.
It's because it was 3 dice.
And you were like, I've got a shield.
And I wasn't. It wasn't so much that I had a shield, and I shouldn't, but I wasn't sure if Volan was just in range or not.
Right,
and
gotcha.
I need to kill Volan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Forgetting that he's dead and you've already won.
Yeah, because that literally would have taken me to 20, wouldn't it?
So even if I kill Braylon, it's 21-19 because there's nothing I can do about.
Yeah, but I was there going, I've got a lock, I've got 1 force, I need to pray it's in range and shoot him, so that's why I didn't.
I end up with hit crit thanks to marksmanship, and Braylon goes down to double direct hit.
Not yet, he doesn't. He goes down to.
Oh no,
he goes down to 2.
No. Oh yeah, because the gunship shoots you in a second.
So I roll an evade, and I take damage and shield and direct hit.
Yeah. Then Kanan shoots Dirge.
For 1 hit, because I didn't.
And I dodge it.
And you dodge it.
Then my gunship shoots a diamond boron into Braylon, and you
Kanan this.
I end up with focus crit. I re-roll the focus into a focus, so just 1, and you double blank.
The 1 attack I can spend a focus on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
And it's a direct hit.
Braylon
dies.
Hit and Braylon dies.
Yeah.
And
all right,
you still would have needed that. Because that 1 hit going through, like, whether it's at direct or not, the direct kind of makes up for the extra evade. That attack would still be needed. So...
it's 17... in the game, it was like, okay, 17-19 to me, and I was like, okay, I've won, I just pick up crates, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Although, what should have actually happened is you've already won.
But, okay, that's fine, that's...
and that is what the final turn is, guys. Basically, Volan, inexplicably alive, 3 banks picks up a crate, Dirge 3 straights and picks up a crate, and my gunship does a side slip and calculates, knowing that I'm going to get shot by Kanan and there's not a whole lot I can do.
Kane in 2 straights because it's the fastest maneuver I can do that Dirge is in the way of anything faster, and I just have to try and... I think maybe hang on, is the 4 red on the Ghost? I can't remember.
I don't know.
No. But if I got the other side of Dirge, I think I'm on the Moustache Rock.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, go as fast as you can and hope to God that Volan's in range.
Yeah.
Turns
So
out
I pick a bunch of crates. The gunship and Kanan trade shots. You deal some damage. I deal some damage. It doesn't really matter.
It does. You plink the crate off me out of spite.
Yes, but yeah, I plink the crate out of spite, but functionally, none of this turn shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean by didn't matter. How did I can't even I can't even clock. Because in my head, I was ionized, and then I went to dials, looked at the ship, saw no ions, and thought, yes, this is correct.
I mean, to be fair, I missed it as well. So
yeah,
and it was my bomb, so I should have.
Yeah, I can't even.
Interesting.
Yeah,
what would you do in like an event? Because that's a game state. You'd have to rewind, right? Or do you
if you caught it after the game, like we're doing,
yeah,
it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but if you caught it,
can't go back.
If you caught
it in game,
but once if you caught it the next turn.
You probably have to rewind.
You have to rewind. Or at that point, do you just work out like because for instance,
or at that point, or in this case, you'd be like, oh, well, then Volan will be dead.
Yeah, because he didn't shoot anyone. It's not.
He didn't shoot anyone. He didn't do anything. All he did was an illegal move and then live because he didn't get shot either.
Yeah. Right, wow. Whoops.
Whoops. Yeah. Holy Christ. Wow, and I thought getting the extra evade was bad.
Yeah, okay, fair. Cheating on both parts.
Yeah, straight cheating. Wait.
Oh, that's amusing.
Yeah. Also, other question on triggers you should remember.
Shoot.
Y'all complain about It's a Trap not triggering, but the few times you could have triggered it, you just chose not to.
Do you know, I didn't
Braylon at the very least could have triggered it twice.
I didn't even think about It's a Trap once. I was so concentrating on all the other triggers.
Yeah.
I think about it on Wedge, because Wedge is...
Yeah.
The B-Wings have it as well. Right, I need to play the list more, and I actually just need an A4 sheet in front of me that has It's a Trap trigger. I'm generally considering printing something that I can put on my desk that says no shooting until you've checked for Fen.
Yeah. But jokes aside, and horrendous cheating aside,
it was a close game.
This is a really close game either way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I technically won 21 17, but
no.
The alternative
won. I technically won.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can say it that way. Either looking back, you won. You won to turn
in my best Black Knight Monty Python. All right, we'll call it a draw.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it was really close, wasn't it?
Yeah,
there was some bad luck on both parts. Pre-Vizsla structural damage. To be fair, Thane's structural damage, the direct hits.
Yeah, the direct hits coming basically.
I think luck was pretty average. Both good and bad, I suppose. Which is always nice, when it's not...
I had pretty good attack dice, because, Dirge's attacks were pretty hot a lot of the time.
Yeah, but to be fair, the one time, specifically, the proton cannon where you just rolled massive paint and it was thing, you had lock focus anyway, so...
Now, I'm just thinking, in general, the last shot into Braylon, straight rolling hit, triple hit, and be like, well, marksmanship, I guess.
Yeah, I mean... fine, but
yeah,
I don't think it was skewed that bad in either.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was.
I mean,
it felt relatively even.
You can flip that, but also Kanan rolling 3 focuses and 2 blanks into 5 hits.
Yeah, and doing exactly what you needed to do to kill. Because I was like, okay, I've got decent odds. You're only single-ish modded. Yes, you have a focus.
Yeah, I thought I kill you next turn, not that turn. But yeah, exactly. It was tight. It was close, which. It didn't. I say surprise. I kept up with objectives more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
and that was actually despite Thane dying. Because actually, although I was only ticking up 1, I was managing to keep you down to 1.
Yeah,
because once you get past the initial engagement, you can't really waste an action to to do it. And actually, maybe for me, it is just better to accept you'll go down a point for maybe 1 or 2 turns to get a better engagement.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, to be honest, I don't think Thane picking that crate up is wrong. I just think, I think the turn in hindsight was wrong because, at least because to me, I just didn't think you'd be able to get in range without really stretching yourself.
Yeah.
What
I should have done was
either
hard turned to the left and then Talon rolled in behind the list.
Yeah.
Or and then I could have just slow rolled.
Yeah, they just slow roll. Then you're an I5 Magpulse, and you're safer.
And I can slow roll the whole list, because by that point I was already near the centre objective. Are you going to rush in and pick it up in front of my list?
Hell no.
And then we're trading 2-2, and... you say... Yes, you trade up, I suppose, in the sense that most of your ships work. If I can kill Pre-Vizsla, then you've got to do Kanan.
Yeah. Well, and also the thing is, I can trade ish. If we're trading ships, it's trading ish. But at the same time, most of my list is initiative killable.
Yeah.
That is the flip side of it. It's yes, my list is worth less.
Well, not necessarily initiative. Well, you say initiative killable.
The two gunships and Vizsla. Vizsla maybe less so, but
but yeah,
it is like with 286. You just straight up initiative killed him.
Yeah. That's fair.
But it also took your entire turn. But I think that the flip side there is you can spend a turn because my hitting back, if it's not coordinated, isn't as easy as yours.
Yeah.
Dirge needs his bullseye. Vizsla needs his stuff. Volan needs to not be dying.
And I think taking him off probably saved me, or stopped you scoring at least 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kanan was really good.
Yeah, Kanan's good. And I like my list. I actually like my list. I think I'm sort of settled on it. I like Volan. Yes, okay, yes, he should have died. But in general, he's sort of he's a weird little plinky flanky ship, and then all of a sudden you're just there's one turn where had I managed to land that 5k, it's okay, land a strain on Gina.
Yeah.
That means Dirge's shot is killing you pretty much.
Yeah.
At that point you have to Kanan it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm not settled, but I'm down to, we'll call it 3 lists, but 2 of them are it's this list with Thane or maybe Boudica and the Fang, will work that one out, or Ezra and a 5-pointer, so that's kind of the same list, or the 5-ship Alpha Strike I've been flying, which is Endor Wedge, Boy Luke, Fenin the Fang, with Swarm Tactics, Hull, and then Sabine.
Yeah,
which is nice. Here's a question for you.
Sounds good.
Is 3 B-Wings too many B-Wings?
How expensive is the 3rd B-Wing?
5 points. It's Hera.
Yes, I think it is.
It's Hera with plasmas and protons and weapon system officer.
That's all very nice. I think it's too many.
Aww. With 2 other B-Wings and Ezra.
So the reason I think it's too many is I think there is a lot of hull behind 1 agility, and yes, you'll get your alpha. But there's also a lot of hull behind 1 agility floating around and a lot of alpha strike, and I think you need some ships that aren't on a B-Wing dial.
Fair enough.
Because Gina and Braylon can get away with it because they have janky bombs out of sight.
Yeah.
They make it really awkward to outmaneuver. But I think if you have too many B-Wings that all kind of want to stick relatively near each other, it'll get a bit weird. It'll get a bit awkward. It'll be because they're not super fast, and yes, they have the cool, crazy moves. But 2 of them want to remain stressed basically every turn, and the other one less so.
Yeah. Which kind of, I was thinking,
yeah.
But just
if it was a 4-point B-Wing, maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
Gina... But I don't think there's any good. I don't think there's any particularly good 4-point B-Wings.
It's Gina
left.
or the rubbish ones, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
as in the same line of if I could get a 3rd 3-point gunship, slot that straight in.
Fair
just
enough.
Because 8-hole for 3 points, hell yeah. And and then you get another persisting lock, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if you get another 4-point good B-wing, then yeah, maybe I'd consider it.
Well, on that note of me prattling with my B-wing wistfulness, we'll wrap it up for this week. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.
See what we can provide next week for entertainment.
Well, let's see how many rules we can break next time. Just straight, it's just I actually am in shock. And it's just straight up complete cheating, and neither of us even clocked it.
Yep.
Would we have even clocked it if I hadn't suddenly gone, wait a second?
Possibly not, actually.
We'd have just said, and Volan does a 3-straight, and someone would comment like, how did Volan do a 3-straight? You said he was in an iron bomb, and then we'd have been like, oh yeah.
Well, on our stupidity,
On that note,
we'll say see you next week.
Ta-ta.